be starting in just a minute here. Ad break is over. I have just a little bit of stuff to do here, and then we'll be ready to go. Let me shout out Mr. Hearthside here, fellow narrator. Check out his channel. Great narration this morning, by the way. I actually got to check out a little bit of it. Start in just a minute. Computer's acting up right now. All right, here we are. Finally. It's like, you know, I don't do this every Wednesday or something, right? Like, incredibly unprepared today. I remembered, like, last second, I'm like, the iPad's downstairs. How am I going to read in the booth? So I had to go grab that. And anyway, so I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Hi, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. If you didn't hear earlier, it's because we were probably in an ad break on Twitch. Hearthside, check out their streaming channel. I got to check out a little bit this morning. Fantastic narrator, and really good job this morning too. I finally got to catch like a little bit of it, kind of towards the end there. But he is also a fantastic narrator. Check out his channel, Hearthside Gaming. Also has the YouTubes and stuff like that too that you could check out. A lot of horror stuff, and he's really good at it. So check him out. Anyways, tonight's stream, Whiskey Wednesday. If you couldn't tell, the theme for this month might be that little Irish holiday, St. Patrick's Day. So we're going to embrace that this entire month on our Whiskey Wednesday. And we'll be enjoying some beverages, some Irish whiskeys, a different flavor for every episode, because why not? Let's just mix it up, right? And there's stuff that's just collecting dust. So why not embrace that and, clean out the cabinet if you will, and partake in some lovely Irish whiskeys. Also tonight, if you couldn't tell, down below, we're going to be doing some poetry, reading some poetry from a book called, a collection of poems in a book called Timelines by Evalyn Githina. Hopefully I got that right. Sorry if I'm butchering that. But wonderful collection of poems. Highly encourage you all to check that out. Let me put in on YouTube and Twitch there a little bit of information about the author themselves and the collection of poetry, the book that we're going to be reading from tonight. Normally we'd be reading a first chapter, but today we're going to be reading the first 4 pages, which I think equates to about 4 different poems. Forgot to count, but I think that's about right. Anyways, we're going to be reading some poems, which is actually kind of fitting because last month was Poetry Month that we did all month for Whiskey Wednesday. And so this kind of transitions us very nicely into this month here, March, and we're going to be kicking it off with some more brilliant poetry. And let's use all those things that we learned through Poetry Month and kind of try to dive into the poem and see what its structure is and try to see what we like about it. So I think it'll be fun. Okay, I pre-read all of them, and they're fantastic. I couldn't help myself. I read one, and I was like, oh, this is really good. I love this theme. I love where it's going. So I had to read the rest. So, spoiler, they're all really good. As if they wouldn't be, right? As if they wouldn't be. Excited tonight to jump in there, and we'll jump in there in just a little bit. But first, we have to do the whiskey thing. It's Whiskey Wednesday. What are we drinking? We are drinking the Green Spot. Right there. An Irish whiskey. And it should be there in the YouTube and in the Twitch chats there. A little bit about this particular one. People say if you're going to get into Irish whiskey, this is a really nice one to start with. I have not had it. So, or if I have, the night was very good, and I don't remember it. So, in either way, this will be a brand new experience. Maybe again for me. I don't think so. I don't think I've had this one, but it comes in this cool little like container. It's kind of neat, you know? It's kind of neat. Hey, Mama, how's it going? Thank you for joining the Twitch channel. Hey to you. Thank you for joining me yet again. We're drinking a little bit of Green Spot tonight to celebrate the Irishness in March, the holiday of St. Patrick's Day this month. We're bracing it fully. We're going full bore, theming it out. So let's get our cup ready here, our glass, and I do have those like fancy like whiskey like glasses, but they're really easy to knock over. So I go for the tumbler instead. If that bothers anybody, I don't know, any whiskey aficionados out there, I have them. I just don't want to knock them over and spill them because I have, and I will do again. I have a mouse pad that is Scotch scented, not because it came that way, it's because those things tip over easy. So we're going to avoid that. It'd be not a good way to have to pause stream. You know what I mean? Let's open her up. Ooh. Nice little... No, that smells good. That smells good. Let's give it a little pour. Oh, yeah. Good way to start off the stream. A little bit of Green Spot. You should try 40 Creek. It's my favorite. Okay, I will look into that. As a matter of fact, you know what I'll do is I will open up myself a little notepad here, and I will write that down. You said, oop, chat scrolled on me, so now I can't see. 40 Creek, okay. 40 Creek. If I don't write it down, I won't remember, so I'm going to write it down so I can remember. I mean, I guess I could go back and watch the VOD and see what we said, but the maker was a wine distillery before, and he crafts his whiskey the same way. Oh, that's really cool. You know what's kind of interesting is a lot of, method and technique and superstition go into a lot of distillation, especially with like whiskeys, like Scotch whiskeys. They'll, in certain distilleries in like Scotland, let's say, and even in Ireland, they'll have, their stills, and there'll be, these old stills that are kind of beaten in or whatever. Well, when they have to replace those stills, out of superstition is originally why they started doing this. They used to, if the old still had a dent in it or something, they would beat a dent into it and try to get it to the exact same condition that the old still was in when they replace it with the new one. And they did it out of superstition for, years and years, and this is handed down. When you replace a still, this is what you do. Well, it turns out that they found out that's actually backed up scientifically. The data shows that all of those kind of bumps and divots and all those things in the still imparts different flavors into the distillate. So when they do that, they did it out of superstition to begin with, but turns out there's a reason you should do it, so that you can capture the exact same flavor that you've been capturing for years for consistency. Pretty cool, huh? I thought that was kind of fascinating. I was watching this because I'm a nerd. I was watching a documentary on distillates in Scotland, and where Ardbeg comes from, and Laphroaig and all that kind of stuff. And I found it fascinating, all the kind of stuff, and like what does peaty mean in Scotch? Oh, it literally means peat moss. It's the dirt that comes in. Anyways, that's one little tidbit that I found super, super fascinating. Like it's actually really cool. Mm-hmm. Actually, the surface area that affects the distilling. Exactly. Yeah. That is, it's a true thing. It's a true thing. It's real. It's real. Also, very real is the poetry that we're going to be reading tonight. I'm super stoked. I'm super stoked to get into this. I reached out on the social medias, if you were, and put out there, hey, I've got some openings, coming up, because I'm going to start taking authors' first chapters again, since we're leaving kind of poetry month. And this author, Evalyn, reached out and was like, hey, I have a collection of poetry. Can we do that? And I'm like, you have no idea how fitting that is. So we're going to transition into this month, taking authors' kind of works and first chapters, and we're going to be doing a collection of poetry, the first 4 pages or 4 or 5 poems here. So it's an amazing transition into the month. So let's get into that,
My God,
shall
are you
we?
still talking?
Yes, I'm still talking. We're going to go to the booth. I promise. We'll get into it. Here we go. I promise. Once I find the button. All right. Oh, can't forget the whiskey. Wouldn't be Whiskey Wednesday without the whiskey, right? All right. How is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Sitting back, relaxing, grab yourself a beverage, some snacks. Doesn't have to be whiskey. Could be anything. Could be hot cocoa. Could be water. Could be nothing. You could be drinking the air. Enjoying the ambiance, if you will. And sitting back, relaxing, and, enjoying some stories. So, poetry tonight, though. And this is going to be good. That's really good. It's really, really smooth, too. Really, nice, light, kind of sweet. Not very astringent, not very, alcohol-y forward, which is cool. So I could see why people say, it's a really good introduction to Irish whiskey. I agree. All right, let's get into some stories. Let me reset the flub counter, and I'm going to pause our music. Had it down low, but it's enough. It'll distract me, for sure. All right, let me boop, 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 boop. Let's get the Twitch chat up here so I can see. Spicy fruit salad, how's it going? Hearthside, I love poetry too. Yeah, the last month of getting into kind of doing poetry month was just kind of an eye opener for me. Ooh, I actually really enjoy poetry. And I talked about it before. It was one of those things that I read it in school when I had to, which isn't probably the best experience for it, maybe for some people, not for me. But I really enjoy it. So this is going well. So this author's book is a collection of poetry, and they're all fantastic. And it has a theme here, which I think you'll catch on what that theme is about if you read the little bio about the author there in the book. You'll figure out the theme very quickly. Spicy fruit salad, how's it going? Just had a good cup of tea, Mama says. Need to take a body break, though, so I burned my... Oh, I hate that. Burning your tongue. It's just like, sometimes it can ruin your night. You know what I mean? Burn yourself badly enough. Like, that's a testament to how much, hot food can really just overcome your common sense. Or hot tea, right? Or something like that, where you're like, it smells so good, or it tastes, it smells so good. The aroma draws you to it, and you don't care that it's 200 degrees. You just pop it in your mouth or take a sip, and there you go. What am I drinking? I am drinking Green Spot, which is an Irish whiskey. Let me see here. Let me pop that. Did I have the button? I do. Oh, look. Hey, there we go. Do you see that? I'm so proud of it. Green Spot. There you go. There's a little bit of information about it. And it's really good. I highly recommend it if you're trying to get into Irish whiskeys. It's really pleasant. I like it. Queen's of Ices here. Absolutely. All right. You get that crown. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty, let's dive into the collection here, as it were, for Timelines. A brief little introduction. I think it's kind of important to this collection, so I'm going to read the introduction as well. Introduction. This collection of poems are my way of reimagining the world as it existed before I was born. I envision a future where all that we hold sacred continues to thrive, where the environment remains untainted by pollution and our ways are untouched by the passage of time, a world where the forces that have shaped our spirituality, our culture, and our land have left them unbroken and whole. All right. With that, let's get into the first poem. It's called The Birth of Earth. In the beginning, silence stirred, a vast canvas where nothing purred. The stars were whispers, faint and shy, until the cosmos learned to sigh. A swirl of dust, a fiery bloom, the earth was born in the womb of gloom. Her cradle was the sun's fierce light, her lullaby, the endless night. Her siblings danced in the cosmic sea, Mars and Venus, wild and free. Yet Earth, a jewel with oceans vast, began to dream of skies steadfast. Her moon, was she a twin delayed, or a wanderer by tides obeyed? Drawn close by water's tender plea, she latched on, a partner in destiny. Who birthed this orb, this lush green sphere? Was it chaos or love sincere? The sun, her father, blazing bright, the cosmos, her mother, gave her flight. Together they sculpted her rugged face, adorned her hills, her ocean's grace. She spun, she danced, a miracle of chance, a testament to creation's trance. And so she grew, a cradle of life, her heart a rhythm, her core a knife, carved by time yet endlessly giving, earth a being eternally living. Fantastic. I love this. And it's like, it strokes kind of the inner nerd in me too, like the cosmos and earth and creation. And I love like the language in all of this, but especially like in the little part here where it was, where is it? A swirl of dust, a fiery bloom. The earth was born in a womb of gloom. I love that part. Just like the language. It kind of like reminds me of like my son and I love listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson in the morning as I'm driving him to school. It kind of draws him sometimes out of his grumpy teenage mode. Like, you know. How you doing? Are you excited to go to school? What's your name? That kind of thing. Sometimes Neil can pull him out of it. And more so, it's like the comic that's with him. But anyways, kind of gets me thinking, of all that kind of stuff. So what have we learned? Well, we learned last time through Poetry Month that there are different structures to poetry. And this definitely exhibits the AABB kind of rhyming pattern thing. Gives it that kind of musical, lyrical poetry kind of quality to it. And this is obviously very kind of, has those tones of like the cosmos, right? And mythological themes in there. And we have some personification and kind of gives it that overall like mythic quality to it, a mythic tone, if you will. Fantastic stuff. I truly enjoy all of these. Kind of gets the brain turning, if you will. And it makes me want to look up things like James Webb's thing that they have out there, and see what they found, because they found so much stuff and it's so fascinating. All the different pictures and stuff that they've been able to kind of get, and all these new hypotheses now around like the formation and the beginning of the cosmos and all that kind of stuff. Fascinating stuff. Half of it I don't understand, but but it's interesting nonetheless, right? Yes, that imagery was so bold. Yes, absolutely. And that'll be a theme going forward for sure. Let's jump into our next one. All right. It is entitled, I Am New Here. From deep within the earth I rise, a giant stretching towards the skies, born of fire, stone, and time, into a realm both pure and prime. My peak adorned with snow so bright reflects the dawn's first golden light. Beneath my gaze, the world unfolds, a landscape rich with tales untold, forests dense and rivers wide, savannas stretching open and wild, the rolling plains, the bustling streams, a tapestry of endless dreams. I watch the dance of life below, the herds that wander to and fro, the people's laughter, song, and cheer, their love for land so strong and clear. Each morning mist that wraps my form, a gentle touch both cool and warm, whispers of the life that's seen in valleys lush and pastures green. In awe I stand, a silent guard of nature's beauty, pure and hard, a testament to time's grand art, a witness to the world's great heart. I love, and it's not really a shift, if you will, but this one kind of comes across to me more like emotional versus kind of how we had before. It was almost like a story being told, right, of the creation of Earth. And this one's more, packed in there with more feeling, right? We get elements of personification again in here, and it's more kind of akin, I think, to me, like nature poetry, right? And that's kind of how it comes across. And we have that definite AABB structure again, that kind of lyrical sense to it, rhyming pattern, scheme, structure. Fantastic stuff. I just like how all of these things are painted. I definitely have respect for poetry a lot more now that I've gotten to read a little bit more of it. Like the way that things can be structured really invokes a lot of thought, and I think there's a lot of power in kind of coming across without, like, saying something without directly saying something, right? Using metaphor or, other ways to say what you mean, to kind of paint a picture in a certain way. And I think this does this beautifully. Just kind of makes you take a second and think about what was just said and the exact verbiage that was used to kind of paint that picture in your mind and what's meant. I think it's really cool. Like, I find it really fascinating. So much respect, because I don't think I could do this. That's for sure. This is all fantastic stuff. Same thing to write a sonnet was hard. Oh, yeah, writing sonnets. Sonnets. How many sonnets have I had to read in school? Although, outside of a Shakespearean sonnet, even though I'm a little harsh on Shakespeare, I like it. I like it. Ooh, that is good whiskey. All right. Let's do this next one here. Guardians of the Spirit Land. That's the title of this one. Let's see here. I think we'll probably have another ad break here in about 4 minutes, but we can definitely, I think, get through this one. Fruit Salad says sonnets are my nemesis. I can understand why. If I tried to write any of this stuff, it would all be my nemesis. I might be able to get away with a haiku. Not that it would be good, but I might be able to get away with it. All right. Guardians of the Spirit Land. Mountains stand, both proud and wise, sentinels beneath the skies. With stone-bound hearts and silent grace, they guard the earth, a sacred place. Peaks that touch the realm above, holding ancient truths of love. They keep the spirit strong and clear, unmoved by time, untouched by fear. Trees rise tall in emerald shroud, a forest choir, steady, proud. Their roots dig deep, their branches high, connecting earth with endless sky. They breathe the world its pulse, its breath, in whispered life and softened death. Guardians of all that's seen, unseen, they hold the soul of land serene. Rivers carve the land with care, their voices echo everywhere. They carry wisdom, fresh and pure, through valleys deep and paths obscure. Guides of life, the wind and flow, where secrets of the spirit grow. Each ripple, bend and turning tide, protects the heart where dreams reside. Oceans vast, both fierce and still, keep vigil round each wave and hill. With depths unknown and shores untamed, they guard the mystery wild and famed. Their waters churn, both calm and might, a realm of shadow, pulse, and light, protectors of the deep unknown. They sing for all that's yet unsown. Together strong this hallowed land, held by their ancient guiding hand. Mountains, trees, and rivers wide, oceans fierce with timeless pride, each one a keeper, bold and true, protecting spirit's endless hue. For in their watch the earth can thrive, its soul unbroken, wild, alive. Love this one. I really like kind of the whole thing is great, don't get me wrong, but I really love the ending there. The whole, each one a keeper bold and true, protecting spirit's endless hue, for in their watch the earth can thrive, its soul unbroken, wild, alive. Like, I love how she worded that. This one again, we have that kind of similar rhyming structure, even though each kind of breakdown of that structure is a little longer, but we still have the AABB kind of rhyming thing there. It's kind of, all of this I think kind of dips into that, nature realm, right? It gives, in this case, I get more of a feeling of it's trying to give nature that like a sacred, almost like divine role in a way, portraying the land kind of as like a living entity with like protectors and wisdom. And I like that. I like kind of the overall kind of feeling of it, right? And embodied by the title, right? Guardians of the Spirit Land kind of says it all there. But as you get into it and it unfolds, really kind of gives that, reinforces that feeling, right? I know we're going to have an ad break here soon, so I'm going to vamp a little bit, and there's some things you should probably know coming up in here. There's a couple of words that are not English words, so we'll go over that here in a second, because you might want to know them as we get into it. I'll help you understand it a little more. Sonnets mock my mind, 14 lines of pure terror defeat me again. A haiku by Spicy. Fantastic. Well done. Well done. All right. Yeah, we're going to break into those. So there's a couple of words in here. There's actually only two. And that sound means there's going to be an ad. So I'll wait until everyone comes back and fill you in on what those 2 words are, because I'll leave you in suspense. Which is a fantastic old school radio show, old time radio theater. Suspense is one of my favorites. Stories that would leave you in suspense, right? But they had like along the same lines, there was one with a train. Was it called Whistler? Like a train in the background, like the I don't remember. It was like when I was a kid when I listened to these. Although I do kind of want to listen to a lot more of them now. Like here and there, I'll listen to like an old episode of Dragnet or something. There's a Twitch channel on Twitch where a gentleman plays for a few hours. I think he plays 4 shows of just OTR, old school radio theater. And sometimes I can tune into those and listen as I'm kind of like working on things or, relaxing for the evening. It's cool. I like tuning into those. I just find all that kind of audio theater, very very good. I like it. It's I love all the stories in it. It's fantastic. I haven't really listened to a show that I didn't like, per se. One of my favorite comedies is Amos and Andy. Look that up if you've never heard of it. That's a fantastic old school comedy. Actually, I think the ad break is over. Am I right? Are you all back? Anyways, when we were down in San Diego on a vacation a little while ago, I picked up a book of, Harpo and Groucho and the Marx Brothers. Picked up a whole bunch of their like old radio plays and kind of this book, so you can kind of read through them, and it even has all the old like original ad spots in there too, which is kind of interesting to read through. Some of the old recommendations, like 4 out of 5 doctors recommend Lucky Strikes. Like it was a different world back then, I think we're back. Because I don't see the ad counter anymore. So we're just going to assume that we are. And if you're on YouTube, you're like, what ad? You luckies. All right. So we have a couple of different words here that are not English words, 2 of them. And they're actually from Kiko-yo origin, which is a place in Africa. And in that language, we have 2 different things that show up. Very first, we actually have Mainama, which means water and truth, which literally comes after the words water and truth. So she kind of spells it out for you, what that means. And then we have something else that's interesting and very much in line with Whiskey Wednesday. Cheers. Is Muratina. And it is a traditional fermented alcoholic beverage. And Kiko-yo. Kiko-yo. I keep trying to say you. It's Kiko-yo. Traditional fermented alcoholic beverage in Kiko-yo culture. And it's made from the Maratina fruit, often used in ceremonial events like weddings and initiations. So when you see that come up, that's what she means. It is a alcoholic beverage fermented from that Muratina fruit. So without further ado, let's dive into this one, and it is our last poem of the evening in this collection by Evalyn. So here we go. It's called Well of Dreams. Water and truth, Mainama, flow from the same source, they say, as life itself drawn from earth's embrace, clear, unyielding, shaping grace. Are we not threads in this woven stream of truth that quenches, fuels our dream? It carves the stone in a sculptor's hands, guides the chisel to create, to understand. It sweetens mango, ripens seed, from root to fruit fulfills each need. In Maranita's fermented breath, we taste both life and hints of death. For water holds truth's secret code, a mirror pure where life is showed. We drink, we sculpt, we taste, we feel, bound to a truth that flows and heals. From clouds to soil and ceaseless flow, truth seeps through all we know. In rain's soft kiss and rivers wide, in every ebb and every tide, water returns, reborn and whole, a cycle endless that feeds the soul. What once was cloud now roots may drink, from truth's deep well on life's vast brink. And that is it. Again, she's selling it to me here in the endings. I love this whole cycle thing, here at the end. I love that part. A cycle endless that feeds the soul. And then going into kind of describing that in an kind of an abstract way, right? What was once in the sky now falls and now becomes food, right? This cycle thing. I love that. What once was cloud, now roots may drink. I love that. I love that part. This is really cool. I'm enjoying this a lot. A lot of themes of truth, existence, interconnectedness of things, the cycling stuff, right? Drawing parallels between water, right? Dreams and life's cycles, right? Yeah, I loved it. I loved all of this. I really do want to read this entire collection now. And I'm super interested in how the theme kind of grows. Because it looks like as we're going down, because these are all the poems right in a row here of the first part of the book, the collection of poems. So I'm very interested to see how kind of this theme kind of builds and grows throughout, right? Because we start with the beginning of the cosmos and the formation of Earth and all that kind of stuff, and then we kind of get more, spiritual, and we're bringing more culture into it. We're getting more specificity, kind of in that way. Right? At least with the language. Yeah, I really like this. Very good job, Evalyn. Very good job. Very good job. Enjoyed it all, and I hope you all did too. If you liked it and you would like to pick yourself up a copy, let me hit this info button right there. That'll give you a little bit of information, again, about the author, and then where you can find this collection of poetry, where you can pick it up and purchase it if you will, if you enjoyed it as much as I did. So I'm sure they would appreciate it. So fantastic. We're going to head back over to the desk and we're going to pass this thing off. It'll be a short one tonight, which is good because I got to get back in the booth and get going on an audiobook because it's due at the end of the week and I got to get moving. So this one was a short one, but a sweet one. I thoroughly did enjoy it. So I will meet you all back at the desk. Yeah. Maybe. If I could get out of chair. All right. It's a long walk, There's traffic. It's like my commute to work. My day job, I work at home, It's traffic jam on the stairway sometimes, It's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully you enjoyed it all. Hey, Centurion. Almost didn't see you come in there. The Centurion, if you don't know, is the #1 black hat wearing Twitch streamer that is Australian in the world. Just putting that out there. Check out his channel if you're into the gaming things and harassing him about Australia, which is my personal favorite pastime. I'm just kidding. I don't do it much. Okay, sometimes. A little bit. How's it going, Centurion? Thank you very much for the lurk. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, that's it. That was all for tonight. Oh, I missed somebody too in like this stream. Oak and Agave, howdy on YouTube there. Like came in as like really small text. So I almost missed you there. Almost missed you there. You said something like 4 minutes ago. My apologies. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you got to see some of the stream tonight. A collection of poetry by Evalyn here. Fantastic stuff. And if you didn't, no worries. The live stream will be up on YouTube, where you're at right now, Oak and Agave, afterwards. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. Really short one tonight, but a really good one tonight. I really enjoyed the poetry. And everything that we learned from Poetry Month, we kind of got to use and throw into tonight's kind of assessment of the poetry, right? What did you get out of the poetry? Which I think is kind of cool about poetry, right? I think it's one of those things where the author has an intent, obviously, and then how people read that and take that in and how they interpret it can be different and personal to them, which is cool, right? Kind of similar to how, like, if you're reading a story, that story can mean something different to you than another person. But I think with poetry, especially, it hits like a different level, especially stuff that's like this from this collection that's more, emotional and spiritual and those types of things, those types of emotions that get kind of brought up by it, and the language that's used in there, and those little touches of cultural elements is really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. Check it out. Check out the link down there if you'd like to, pick yourself up a copy. It's all good. Where are you broadcasting? Twitch. Yes, so I'm doing Twitch and I'm doing YouTube at the same time. I think YouTube does have like a pretty significant delay behind Twitch, so sometimes it's it's interesting to try to keep up with both environments streaming. I wonder if there's a way to make that a little bit closer together. I don't know. But yeah, trying out the whole Twitch streaming thing too, along with YouTube, because they created a little, I think it was last year, I can't remember exactly what month they did, but Twitch created a writing and reading category. Twitch is primarily for, like video games, stuff like that. But they created a writing and reading category, and it's been fantastic for me. Not only do I get to meet other, people that read stuff on stream, I've met some audiobook narrators that are fantastic, and learned a lot just from watching them. But I've also met a lot of authors, too, a lot of indie authors, which sometimes is hard to meet and hard to, get that whole networking thing going. And it's been really cool. Like, I like being able to see people perform their craft and get that kind of inside view on how some of these things come about, right? Some people will even do like sprints where they're literally writing with their books in front of you and doing editing and all kinds of stuff. So it's cool to see kind of that point of view and having conversations with them and getting kind of their perspective on the whole craft of storytelling, right? Because they're the original storyteller. If you think about it, they're writing the story that I'm reading as the audiobook narrator. So it's cool. It's interesting. It's been really fun. So I've been thinking about maybe trying out here and there too, some other platforms. I do some narration for a newspaper out of my home state of Washington. But specifically, this newspaper is out of the Tri-Cities area. Kind of localized to that part of the state. But it's really cool. So those that have trouble reading the newspaper in that area can then listen to some of the stories that are narrated by us narrators. And it's really cool. But they've opened up a Discord channel, and they want, people, if we want to, we can go in there and start narrating in there as well. I'm thinking at least at first it'll be the stories that we're, narrating for the newspaper. Which will be cool. I do usually a monthly movie review column, which is a lot of fun. Gives me an excuse to go see movies because I have to do research, right? That's a tax write-off, I think. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what the tax person says about that. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Twitch. Yes, Twitch indeed. We don't read. We're from Alabama. Okay. Hey, you don't. Well, if you listen to an audiobook, there's a strong argument, and I know this is, there's some contention around this, but I think listening to an audiobook is reading, right? So, just saying. I throw in an audiobook and I go on a walk every evening, and that's how I get a lot of reading done. I think it's reading. I think it's about the same, right? Except you could probably listen to an audiobook and drive, whereas if you're reading a physical book, I wouldn't, don't drive. That'd probably be a bad idea, no matter how gridlocked you are, But anyways, I digress. Thank you very much for joining me tonight on Twitch and on YouTube, if you would, and or if you are. And yeah, if you didn't catch the whole thing live, go ahead and head on over to my YouTube at youtube.com/456. And you can catch the whole thing, and you can watch it and speed it up if I'm talking too slow, or you can slow it down if I'm talking too fast. It's pretty neat, that tool, right? But anyways, up next on the schedule before I pass this whole stream on Twitch over to another channel, kind of pay it forward to somebody else there that's doing the thing. I would normally be doing a live stream at 6 p.m. PST tomorrow called Throwback Thursday, where I read a public domain story and we record that for LibriVox, which is a nonprofit organization that gets narrators in there for public domain stuff to give to the seeing impaired. And I think it's a really great kind of thing that they have going on there. And so we record that session, and then we actually turn that into a no kidding audiobook and submit that at the end to LibriVox, which is really cool. Won't be doing that tomorrow, though. So the next stream that you will see me on is Macabre Monday at 6 p.m. PST. See the theme? They're all at 6 p.m. PST. Where we will be reading some short horror fiction. So, and maybe one from the community. Maybe somebody here on Twitch submitted a story. Maybe we'll be reading that one. Maybe. I'll have to talk to that person, whomever that may be. Oh, no, if you're still there, I'll send you a message. But anyways, so you'll see me next Monday, and we'll resume on Macabre Mondays and read some short horror fiction, and it will be fantastic, and it will be great, and I can't wait to see you there. So, I will be handing this one off. So if you're on YouTube, I'll see you later. The stream will end here, and if you're on Twitch, follow me on to another channel here for a little bit. There we go. I hit the wrong button because I won't be right back. I will be ending. This is the screen I wanted, and that didn't work. That's great. That button's broken, just so you know. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. Toodles, everyone. Let's go raid somebody here. Who do we got? Who do we got? Oh, you know what? We have Neff. I love me some Neff's stream. He does some reading too. We'll see if he's doing some reading tonight. I'm not quite sure, but we're going to go over there anyways. Here we go.
Right about there. How's that sound, Jody? I hope that's... Okay, we're not going on break yet, because we just got a raid from Fife. And I have to turn this back down so they can hear me. Thank you, Faison. I am now here twice again.